All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of Guidebook Greenroom. And this week we're diving into our second in a four-part series around branding and glad to be inviting Jack back again for his second episode. So, Jack, it's good to have you here. And this week we kind of want to dig into a little bit more specifically about brand, the impact of branding on events, and also your expertise around our customers' experience with brand.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Um, yeah, branding is always so important to so many of our customers in loads of different sectors, all the way from like non-profit, healthcare, and corporate, through to education, of course, using us for conferences, training, community outreach, and then student communication.
There's a lot to cover there. I'm really excited for you to share your perspectives and kind of leverage the voice of customer across those different contexts. Um, Kind of more generally speaking, I love to dig into like the idea of brand. When clients speak to you about the importance of branding, what does that really mean to them?
Yeah, I think it's always about consistency, creating something that's recognizable and like their identity across not just their brand name, not just their event, but like the gap in between that. Making sure they resonate with their target audience, building a strong reputation, building trust and loyalty with their attendees, with their students. So yeah, it's more than just a logo when we speak about this. It's the entire experience the customer has with that organization.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm interested to, I guess, understand a little bit more when people are assessing Guidebook as a solution for their event app, how how much is branding actually coming into play? Like, is that a part of the conversation early on when people are looking at event apps or, event management software? And then also, what are their goals when they're thinking about brand and technology?
Yeah, it happens really early, and we have lots of different elements that can help them all through our different plans. They're always just, they want to know that they can extend their brand experience seamlessly through their events. They they want their events to feel like a natural extension of their organization, not like a separate entity. So they want their users to see that brand from the start, during the event, and then beyond, and feel like it's all encompassing, basically. And yeah, that goes all the way through to visual elements, messaging that reinforces their values throughout the app, the overall experience. They want to convey their brand promises, and just increase that engagement with their attendees from the event, but also with the brand, and ultimately, drive deeper connections across their audience.
I love that. I think that's really relevant to something we were talking about last week. Because when I think of a brand traditionally, I think of like a logo on a building, right? Or a commercial on the radio or television, right? That's what brand used to mean. And I think now with social media and like other advancements in technology, uh, identity, reach, and community are really big parts of a brand experience now. So for Guidebook specifically, what are some of the kind of concrete ways that an event management software solution can help people achieve those goals around a brand?
Yeah, I agree. You see brand everywhere, right? And you associate it with where you see it. And that can mean trust. It can mean the opposite of that. If you support a team and they're sponsored by a certain brand, you may trust them more with the products that you purchase. We offer key features to empower clients to achieve their branding goals. And I think really that can be across like four main elements from Guidebook. Firstly, the most simple thing when you're talking about branding is look and feel, incorporating their logo, colors, fonts, imagery, throughout the app. That can create, a branded environment that reinforces their identity, linking to websites and things like that to make sure that they're encompassing all of that element throughout their app. Secondly, providing tools, for messaging, like the brand messaging throughout all of their event experience, from welcome messages, push notifications, sponsors, those sorts of things that they want to bring throughout the event. Third is like more deep features. So like personalizing schedules, making sure that sessions are branded, those sorts of things. And then finally, collecting feedback so that they know how people interacted with their brand, interacted with their event, how they were perceived, and then how they can improve in the future.
Yeah, I think there's so much you can do on the platform to, you know, make sure your brand is coming through in all the ways that you want it to. And even, with us a step further back in that journey is our event marketing website and how people are promoting their events and starting to bring, whether that's language, imagery, or positioning through. And that that starts the process of that brand interaction right through to how it feels and looks in the app. And I'm curious, Jack, and I'm going to put you on the spot, and I apologize, but are there any apps or brands or events that kind of spring to mind where you think they've just delivered on brand really well? And is there any kind of correlation between them or any key things that you just think that makes it so? Something that kind of really, for anyone watching, would go, if I do this or if I think about this, I can really make sure that my event app and my kind of event brand sing during the kind of technology phase, let's say, of their event.
Yeah, there's a couple. One of my favorite looking apps is London Music Academy. They use a really dark theme. They send out a lot of push notifications to like highlight things that are happening to students throughout the year, and it looks like a really cool app. But then you see like Virgin Atlantic, UBS, those sorts of companies. They spend a lot of time on making sure all of their events have the same kind of layout, the same icons, so that whenever you go to any event that's hosted within their app with Guidebook, they all look the same, have the same look and feel, and it's just like a real consistent journey for the user. And that is like important when we talk about a white labeled branded app. It's it's always important to people that they go to the app store, they download their app. The sort of journey is continuous from the beginning. And yeah, that is really important to so many people that we talk to.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I was a Guidebook customer and we had our own app in the App Store. Like that was a really big feature for us. That was really important that anytime, we were running a lot of events, and anytime you went to one of our events, no matter what geography, industry, whatever it was, that the first thing you did was you went to the App Store and you downloaded our specific app. And I think that's a really cool thing that Guidebook does and does well. Well,
Yeah.
Jack, oh, sorry, no, go on.
Sometimes with people we speak to, they're not quite expecting that level of personalization and complete white labeling. They're always surprised, and it's great to kind of take them through that journey that they can create something that is in the App Store, something that you use all the time, and it can be the icon on their users' phones, and it's completely theirs.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, Jack, thank you for coming back to the green room and joining us
Nice.
today on episode 2 of our 4-part series. I think branding is, super important. I think it clearly is something that event planners are thinking about a lot and are, assessing their technology providers in how their brand can be supported and integrate with those. So good to have you here. We'd definitely, obviously, love to see you come back again in the future. But yeah, any kind of final thought or parting words for the week?
I do
No, I
want
don't
to
think so.
reiterate something. Oh, sorry, Jack. I do want to reiterate something that you said earlier, which was there are a few different steps in branding definition, right? There's like having your identity, creating that familiar, consistent space that people can interact with, delivering your messaging, and then also the data piece, right? So maybe we'll dig into that more in another conversation is how understanding the efficacy of your brand and how people perceive you. What is your reputation? How do you know, right? So kind of closing that feedback loop, I think is something to think more on for sure. Well, with that, Next week, we'll continue our branding mini series. We will connect with a guidebooker who specializes on the higher education side of house. So they've worked for a school, they connect with colleges, universities, and associations in that space. And I think it'll be another really insightful conversation. So thanks so much. We'll see you then.
See you next week. Thanks, everyone.